What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with the stats of every one of the weapons as well as their variants in Infinite Warfare. In today's episode, we're finally going to be covering the Auger. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so hopping right into the base stats of the Auger, this took quite some time to calculate. Keep in mind, everything here is hand tested. There are no hard stats available as of yet. So first up, we have a damage profile of 34, 30, 23, meaning it's going to take 3 to 5 shots to kill. Our rate of fire, this is the one that took the longest to calculate, and it's the reason the episode got postponed for so long. The rate of fire starts at right around 400 rounds per minute. Then within the first 4 shots, it ramps up to 780 RPM, and then it stays consistent at 780 RPM until you stop firing. For our time to kill, I put 2 different time to kill values here. First up is our time to kill, assuming we haven't ramped up yet, we're firing our very first shot on target and we don't miss any shots. It's going to start off at 284 milliseconds in the 3-shot kill range, and it will end up at 450 milliseconds by the time you fire your 5th shot. This time to kill isn't really all that impressive at all, so it really helps to be pre-firing with this gun. The second range of time to kill values that I have there, this assumes you're already ramped up at 780 RPM, and these time to kill values are quite fast. In the 3-shot kill range, it's 154 milliseconds, and that ramps up to 308 milliseconds in the 5-shot kill range. Moving on to our aim down sight and sprint out time, both of these are standard for LMGs at 300 milliseconds. Our reload add time is 3.59 seconds, which is relatively slow even for LMGs, so I would highly recommend dexterity on an Auger class. Movement speed is standard for LMGs as well at 90%, magazine capacity is 65 rounds, and we get a total starting ammo, including the magazine you spawn with, at 130 rounds. Moving on to our range values, as you can see here, our 3-shot kill range is right around 18 meters, which is decently solid. As for our 4-shot kill range, this extends out to about 47-ish meters, somewhere around there, so quite a good 4-shot kill range as well. It's fairly rare that you'll end up in the 5-shot kill range of this gun. And if you pop a rifled barrel on there, you can see it extends all your ranges by 20%, and you can't put a suppressor on the Auger. Moving on to recoil, as you can see with the Auger, the first several shots that you fire are generally fairly well contained. It doesn't kick up too strong initially. Of course, if you keep firing, it will eventually start to get out of hand and get way up high. But I would say for your first 10 or so shots, you're going to be relatively accurate with the Auger. Moving on to headshots, we get a standard headshot multiplier of 1.1, which takes our headshot damage profile to a 37, 33, 25, and that essentially means in core game modes, headshots are basically useless. Of course, in the normal 5-shot kill range, if you can manage to land 4 shots in a row to the head, it will be a kill, but that's simply not practical. One interesting thing is in tactical modes, if you're in its normal 3-shot kill range, it will be a 1-shot headshot within that range. As for hollow point, this gives us a 1.35 times multiplier, which takes our headshot damage profile to a 45, 40, 31. With this one, it doesn't help us at all in the 3-shot kill range, but in the 4 and 5-shot kill range, it is a great benefit to have hollow point equipped. As for Hipfire, it has the same Hipfire properties as the Mauler, which is definitely best in class for LMGs. As you can see, compared to the Titan and the Raw, it is very noticeably better. And that's about it for the base stats of the Auger. With this gun, it's got a lot of potential to be extremely powerful, but you do have to deal with that wind-up time with your rate of fire. And like I said earlier, if you're not pre-firing and you're just firing your first shot on target and then continuing to fire from there, your time to kill doesn't really compete that well with a lot of the other guns in the game. This gun is best suited to pre-firing, and it's also great for double kills and triple kills because you're already firing at your first shot. Then your rate of fire ramps up a bunch, and now for the other kills that you need to get that are already hopefully in your sights, your time to kill is going to be very, very fast against those people because you'll already be ramped up. So my recommendation with this gun is pre-fire as much as possible. So now let's get into the variants, and just like all of the other guns that were added during Infinite Warfare's lifecycle, it wasn't here at launch, these are currently only in the Quartermaster collection, and therefore you can only get them luckily out of supply drops. Starting it off with the common one, we have the Perforator. The Perforator just gives us Sharpshooter, which increases our damage ranges by 5%. Moving on to the rare variant, this is the Pulverizer, and with this one you get Deathbringer, and with Deathbringer, double kills will instantly reload your magazine. This is especially powerful on LMGs because you have the potential to reload a very large magazine first off, and second, the reload time is generally quite slow, and this will save you from having to do that. In addition to that, we get stockpile, which increases our magazine size to 78 rounds, and our total starting ammo, including the magazine we have in our gun when we spawn, is going to be now 156 rounds. Moving on to the legendary variant, this is the Bastion, and with the Bastion you get Fortified, and Fortified gives you Blast Shield when you're crouched, prone, or sliding, and we also get Lowrider, which complements this nicely because it reduces your hipfire spread when you're sliding, and the Auger already has excellent hipfire, so this is a pretty cool variant for this gun. Now finally we have the epic variant called the Fury, and the Fury gives you Twin Sanity, which we've seen before in the HVR Geminis, and this just means that you get one gun in each hand, so you are dual wielding them. You can't aim down sight, but you can fire two guns at once, and it also slightly improves your hipfire spread. In addition to that, we get Haste, which increases our movement speed by 3%. And there we have it. Those are all the variants we have so far for the Auger. And out of all of them, honestly, I really like the rare variant just because it gives you that Deathbringer as well as a slightly larger magazine with stockpile. But you really can't go wrong with any one of these variants. Personally, I don't have any of the variants of the Auger, I just haven't gotten lucky, and I'm totally fine using the base version of this gun. It's still a very good gun if you handle it right, and especially if you force yourself to pre-fire. As for my preferred attachments for this, I really don't like the iron sights too much on the Auger, so I generally run an ELO sight. Quick draw, of course, it's a must-have for all LMGs in my opinion. Depending on my playstyle, sometimes I'll run a laser sight on this. This gun can be very effective at hip firing if you just get up close and personal. You'll be well within the 3-shot kill range, and it's already got good hip fire for LMGs. Once you get that fire rate ramped up as well, you can absolutely dominate with this thing when you're hip firing. And a few other attachments that I would consider using on the Auger, and sometimes I kind of mix and match and throw one of these in. We've got extended mags, just to increase that magazine capacity even more. Foregrip, it really helps with those mid to somewhat longer range gunfights. And finally, rifled barrel. I think it's great to extend that 3-shot kill potential out as far as possible. And with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, which is your favorite variant of the Auger, and what sort of attachments do you like to use with this gun? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.